Hey everybody, it's Chris from Marketing During Tough Times. Thanks for stopping by. It is Monday. Monday is Motivation Day. Last week I started a series of videos on the subject of grit. So this is part two. It is inspired by the book Grit by Angela Duckworth and her fantastic TED Talk. Be sure and watch the first part because otherwise these videos might not make sense, and that'll give you the backstory. So the second element of grit is actually your personality. And this is the most difficult thing, I think, for people when they're trying to get more grit and apply grit to their business. Because your personality, sometimes we think of it as it's fixed. We have a natural way we want to do things. But I think if we become aware of these elements, we can bring that out in ourselves and have more grit. So the aspect of your personality that lends itself to grit is called conscientiousness and being achievement oriented. What does that mean in regular language? It means being meticulous, working painstakingly at something, starting something, doing your best, and finishing it. It's really that simple. Now, I was lucky because I grew up in a small business house. My dad owned small businesses. He created actually very big companies in his life, but he started out small and with nothing. And so I watched him work tirelessly and meticulously throughout his career, and he just sort of ingrained that in me. I don't know that I had this in my personality otherwise, but I know I've applied it to everything. So in addition to owning Chris Wilson Coaching, in addition to owning a performing arts school, I also work as a professional guitarist. And working as a professional guitarist was where I first really discovered grit, because I'm not a naturally talented musician. I didn't just pick it up and I could play. I had to work at things over and over and over again, and I had great teachers. And they always sort of said the same thing, no matter what I was setting. Like, here's your standard that you're set at. You need to reach this level, and it doesn't matter how many times you have to practice it. Maybe you practice it once, maybe you practice it for 30 hours. It doesn't really matter. This is the level that you need to reach. And so that was just how I approached things. So it's like, oh, maybe I do it once, and maybe I do it 1,000 times. I just do it. I have to be at this standard, and I have to finish what it is I'm doing. When I started my business, I just approached it the same way. When I started training employees, I trained them the same way. Here's the task we're doing. This is the acceptable level of the task. This is what it looks like when it's finished. When I'm teaching guitar lessons, my lessons are fun. I think people like taking lessons with me, but I set a standard and then we just work at it just because we just work at it. When I'm coaching small businesses, people who are starting businesses, I'm always surprised to see that they'll get like 80 or 90% of the way to the finish line, to finishing their task, to launching their business, and they stop. And it's like you can see the finish line. And so I just have to work with them to get them to finish it. So what do I do to get people to develop this in their personality? Whether it is with my music students or my business coaching clients or my staff, I always approach it the same way. The first thing I do is I set a standard, or better yet, they set the standard. If it's your business, you set the standard. And the second element is no matter what, you finish the task. Like, you have to finish it. Like, it's just part of the deal. The third thing is you go back with the completed task and make sure that it's up to standard. So whatever it is, if you're learning a piece of music and it's 24 bars long, you go through and maybe 18 of the measures are really where they need to be. And so, okay, you just got to practice those other 6 measures and get it up to par. If you're doing something with your business, not everything's going to be perfect, but you keep working at it to bring it up to that standard that you're at. So I hope you liked today's show. Tune in next week for part 3 of our series on grit. Thanks. Bye.